was always cheerful, the kind of person who would hold the door open for strangers, help tourists find their way, and listen patiently to colleagues' troubles. Her friends often joked that she had a smile quota to fill every day, but the truth was that Millie just loved to see people happy. It gave her a sense of purpose, even when she was struggling with her own issues. Millie had one significant flaw, though. She couldn't say no. Her inability to refuse requests, big or small, often left her exhausted. She found herself constantly overcommitted, running from one obligation to the next, spreading herself too thin. But every time she considered saying no, the thought of disappointing someone or not being able to help kept her from doing so. One bright Monday morning, as Millie hurried to her office, she noticed a man sitting on the sidewalk near the metro entrance. His clothes were tattered, and his face was marked with the lines of hardship. Yet, there was a quiet dignity in his posture as he held a small cardboard sign that read, "Please help." Millie's heart went out to him. She stopped, reached into her bag, and handed him her lunch. "Here you go. I hope this helps," she said with her usual warm smile. The man looked up, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," he murmured. This small act of kindness set the tone for Millie's day. At work, she was met with the usual barrage of requests. A colleague needed help with a project. Her boss asked her to stay late for a meeting, and a friend wanted to catch up over coffee. Millie agreed to everything, her mind preoccupied with the man she had met that morning. As the weeks went by, Millie couldn't shake the image of the man from her mind. She saw him often on her way to work, always in the same spot, always with the same quiet dignity. She started bringing him breakfast or lunch whenever she could, each time greeted with a soft "thank you" and a fleeting smile. One particularly hectic day, Millie's responsibilities overwhelmed her. She had promised to help organize a charity event, assist a friend with moving, and cover for a sick colleague at work. By evening, she was utterly exhausted, both physically and emotionally. She felt like a stretched rubber band, ready to snap. On her way home, she saw the man again. This time, instead of handing him food, she sat down next to him. "Hi," she said softly. "I'm Millie." The man looked at her, surprised. "I'm Daniel," he replied. For the first time, Millie and Daniel had a real conversation. He told her about his life, how he had lost his job, his home, and eventually his family. Despite his hardships, Daniel spoke with a calm acceptance that Millie found remarkable. She shared her own struggles with saying no and the toll it was taking on her life. "You know," Daniel said thoughtfully, "helping others is a beautiful thing, but you can't pour from an empty cup. Sometimes you have to take care of yourself first." His words struck a chord with Millie. She realized that her constant need to please everyone else was not only draining her, but also preventing her from fully enjoying her own life. She had been so focused on making others smile that she had forgotten how to make herself happy. Over the next few weeks, Millie started making small changes. She began by setting boundaries, learning to say no when she needed to, and taking time for herself. Gradually, she felt her energy returning, and her happiness grew. Millie Millie still helped others, but she did so with a new sense of balance. She was more present and more engaged, and her smiles were more genuine than ever before. She also continued her friendship with Daniel, who became a source of wisdom and perspective in her life. One day, as Millie was walking to work, she saw Daniel in his usual spot, but this time, something was different. He was holding a small bouquet of flowers. When he saw Millie, he stood up and handed her the bouquet. "What's this?" Millie asked, surprised. "It's for you," Daniel said, smiling. "You've given me so much more than food. You've given me hope and a reason to keep going. I wanted to thank you." Tears welled up in Millie's eyes as she accepted the flowers. She had never expected this from him. It was the most heartfelt gift she had ever received. And in that moment, Millie realized that true happiness and fulfillment came not just from making others smile, but from finding that balance within yourself to truly and genuinely smile back. She looked at Daniel, her heart full of gratitude and joy as he smiled. And she smiled back. Finding a balance between helping others and taking care of yourself is crucial for true happiness. Sometimes saying no is the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself. It is more blessed to give than to receive. Acts 20 verse 35